It's Thursday the 28th of April 2022 and I'm at Craven Arms in Shropshire to do a walk along the Shropshire Way, mostly tomorrow. Now joining the route of the Shropshire Way at the Shropshire Hills Discovery Centre in Craven Arms. First Shropshire Way signs of the walk, and we now go along this path. Shortly there's this fantastic view ahead. We now enter some woodland and we're right beside the A49 main road here. And these are the first bluebells I've seen this year. And there's the continuing path of Shropshire Way. We now have to follow the A49 for a short distance. Fortunately, there's a pavement. I've made a slight diversion to get this view of Shropshire Church, which dates from the 12th century. And there is a view of Shropshire Castle. Another view of Shropshire Castle, built in the late 13th century. And here's an even more dramatic view of the castle. We now cross over the Shrewsbury to Cardiff railway line. As a train goes past. After crossing the railway, we turn left along this track and climb. We now climb alongside this hedge. And as you climb, the views looking back the way I've come open up. We are now climbing through some woodland. The climb is harder than it looks. The woodland ends at the top of the climb. Great views over to the left. Pity it's quite hazy. We come to this road and head for the hamlet of Alden. We turn right down this road in the hamlet of Alden. We now turn left off the road along this bridleway. And this is where I'm ending today's walk. I'm going to continue tomorrow. I'm going back to Craven Arms where I'm staying overnight. And should be back here tomorrow morning to continue. It's the next day, Friday the 29th of April 2022, and I'm at a small road junction about a mile from where I left off yesterday. I've decided, because my back is aching, not to do that mile of the walk because it involves steep descents. So I'm starting today from here. I don't normally do this, but my back is hurting today. So I hope you can bear with me with this. Anyway, we've still got a fair few miles to walk along the Shropshire Way, so I hope you enjoy the walk. The walk actually follows this road for some way, but there's very little traffic. going through a place called Wetmore now, still continuing along the road. I think we're coming towards the end of the road walk now. At this point the Shropshire Way turns left down that track. Continuing along the track after turning from the road. Pretty impressive view along the track, I think, there. Further on there's confirmation we're on Shropshire Way. The Shropshire Way guidebook warns of this muddy area. As you can see, after the muddy section, the path becomes a track again. Now approaching the A4113 main road. We now need to cross the A4113 road to a lane just off to the right and opposite. After crossing the main road, there's this extremely large pond on the right hand side. And this is the small lane we're heading down now along Shropshire Way. We now leave the lane and take that signposted footpath. Now heading along the edge of this enormous field with a hedge on the right and great views ahead. It's still a bit hazy this morning as it was yesterday. How's that for a view? Superb. We're now going to bear to the left and follow that woodland. Still along the edge of this field. Still continuing beside the woodland. Next we turn left to follow this hedge on the right. Next we turn right to follow that hedge you can see, which will be on the left. Through those bushes you can glimpse another pond, which is on the left. Walking in these fields is pretty awkward because the ground is very rutted. I certainly wouldn't like to do it in very wet conditions. There's a clearer view of the pond on the left. We're coming to its end now. And there is the continuing Shropshire Way. I've now turned right, following another hedge. We've now joined the River Team, and there is the Shropshire Way continuing. Continuing beside the River Team. Now at the village of Bromfield, there's this interesting three-arched bridge across the river, and we're going to cross it. Now at the bridge, and as you can see, 2.5 miles to Ludlow, where the walk will end. Now on the bridge across the river, there's a view of Bromfield Church, and there's the river. And there's a view of the river from the way I've just come from the bridge. After the bridge, we head along this road, or lane, through Oakley Park. It's a bit easier walking than the rutted fields. Good view over to the right. And there's the track continuing. Continuing through Oakley Park. We now turn left off of the made road down here along this track. After an awkward start, we head across this field. Now climbing in a field with a good view on the right. That's the way I'm going. We've now turned right to follow a strip of woodland on the left, and ahead and to the right, superb views. Continuing on the path beside the woodland. Into the next field, and there's a view of Ludlow Castle ahead. And we're following this faint path now. I'm on a bridge crossing a stream. I've just descended, and now there's a very steep climb out of this valley of this stream. Here's the view at the top of that very steep incline. And the bells of the church of Ludlow are ringing. Not far to go now. We come to this small road and turn left along it. There's a view of Dinham Bridge across the River Team. We're about to cross that bridge. There's a view of the River Team and Ludlow Castle from Dinham Bridge. I'll show you the view from the other side of the road on the bridge. And here's the lovely view from the other side of the road on Dinham Bridge, looking along the River Team. We now take this tarmacked path on the outskirts of Ludlow. And naturally it goes uphill right at the end of the walk, just what you need. We're now following some of the walls of Ludlow Castle. And there's the path. There are the gates of Ludlow Castle. And there's a cannon. And we're now going to go down there. Now at the Butter Cross in Ludlow, where this section of the Shropshire Way ends, I now need to make my way to Ludlow railway station. Now walking beside the impressive St Lawrence Church in Ludlow. Very impressive indeed.